Hey, it's Kevin Powell. I'm here at the podcast in the studio, and I have a special kind of podcast episode for you. It's over the phone, but these guys are out on tour, making their way across the United States all the way up until September 30th. I am talking to King Parrot, and we have Youngy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, brother. How are you?
So far, so good. You're a busy guy. You just got off an interview, and you're just hopping on another.
Yeah. I apologize for the delay there. I was just talking shit, and we just we were going on a little bit too long.
No, that's quite all right. Quite all right.
We're in Brooklyn today, and we're playing at the Meadows with Weed Eater tonight. So yeah, we've been out for about a week so far, and done some been down in New Orleans, went through Florida, and up through the Carolinas, and played in Washington D.C. last night, and we're in New York today.
Jeez, and so this is not your first time in the United States, correct?
No, we've done like quite a lot of touring here over the last decade. Yeah.
So what's special about this tour so far? What was the best part so far? What are you looking forward to? Are there any places that you're like, I can't wait to go back to this place, or I really can't wait to go to this place for the first time?
Well, you know what? Last night we played in Washington D.C. and I think we must have done like at least 11 or 12 tours here in the States. And that was the first time we played in Washington D.C. and it was absolutely killer. It was an incredible show, and we played at a venue called the Black Cat, which is really I think it's like sort of owned by some music industry figures. I think maybe Dave Grohl was a part owner in it at some point.
Oh wow!
And so that was really cool fun. But we've got some great stuff coming. I mean, we're playing some Dread Pantera, which is going to be crazy. In a week or so. I'll be going tomorrow. We're playing up at RPM Fest in Massachusetts, which is a cool little festival run by the guys from the band in Lich King. And we played at that, like the first one they ever had years ago, like in 2014. So it'd be great to go back and play that. We're playing at Full Terror Assault over in Illinois, along with Cavalera and Iron Morbid and Pungent Stench and Cro-Mags and a bunch of bands, other great bands as well. And far out, man. We're going everywhere pretty much on this tour, all over the US. We're going up into Canada as well. So we're just excited to be doing it all. And there's quite a few places that we haven't actually played before that we're doing on this run, and we've already done as well. So, man, it's just exciting to be back and being able to travel and do all that stuff again. It's been awesome. The first week's been killer.
That's so good to hear. And for people that don't know, you guys are from Australia. So you're over here in the United States. What all goes into preparing for a tour this size, and what especially coming across the border, coming across the seas to play in the United States?
Well, I guess you have to get permission first, right?
Oh, yeah. And usually that's the hardest part from what I've heard.
Yeah. So you got to get permission. So you got to get the green tick from the immigration people or whatever. So we've been able to do that many times in the past. So it's not such a big deal for us now.
Okay.
But it's still a process, and you kind of got to roll the dice a little bit and go, okay, we're going to start booking all this stuff and we're going to plan for it, and then we've got to make sure we've got permission, and that sort of comes after you've already started making the plans. But because we've had many visas and things like that before, it wasn't such a big deal this time. So yeah, there's just months and months of preparation, just organising logistics and all the little bits and pieces. But we love it, and it's all part of it. So we know what it's all about, and it's nice to do all that work and do the preparation, and now just finally be out here and enjoying it, and having a great time and playing the shows.
Absolutely. And I can only imagine, I mean, there's such a thing as bad stress and good stress. I'm sure you've had a little bit of both preparing for a tour like this, but now it's all paying off. Like you said, you're on the road, you're heading all these places, you're playing with Weed Eater, you're going to be playing with Pantera, which is awesome. I talked to Snafu, another label mate of yours over on Housecore Records. How has Housecore Records been treating you guys? How's everything been?
Oh, man, they're great. They have been, without a doubt, the most supportive people of our band over the years. They've really sort of taken us under their wing and been incredibly supportive when we've been out on the road and doing what we do, which is tour our asses off and play as many shows as we can while we're over here in North America. So they've been great, and the opportunity to play with Pantera, well, that was a no-brainer for us. They kind of wanted to give all the Housecore Records fans some time to play some shows with Pantera, and we've got 5 shows on the East Coast with them, and we're incredibly grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that. It's huge, it's huge for a band like us. I know we are what we are. We're an extreme metal band from Australia, and it's great to have the opportunity to be able to play in front of those bigger audiences and expose ourselves to a whole bunch of people who've potentially never heard of us before. So yeah.
Absolutely, and you guys are killing it, whether it be from the previous albums that have come out or the latest EP, Hold Up in the Lair. How's that been?
Yep. Oh, good, man. Yeah, so we actually recorded that.
Like COVID, right?
Well, we actually recorded it before COVID, and it was never really intended to come out. It was something that we recorded at the Housecore Records studio on one of our last tours. We had a week off, and we were just like, let's get into the studio and just try and write and record as many songs as we can in the space of a few days. So that was what we came up with, and we just remixed it all. It was just sitting there. We hadn't really intended on using it, but it was just sitting there. So we remixed it and got it mastered, and we were like, let's put it out as a short little EP on a 7-inch, and that was just sort of a project to do while we were sort of sitting around doing nothing during COVID. So it was a great thing to do. But we're currently kind of outside of touring and all that sort of stuff. We've been working on a new record, and we're going to get to that over your winter, our summertime, and try and get back into the studio as soon as we can and get a new record out hopefully next year. That's the plan. So yeah,
that's what I like to hear. I love hearing when bands are working on new music. That was actually going to be my next question anyway. But to follow up on that, when it comes to writing music, yes, there's a million ways to do it. And you just kind of talked about the Hold Up in the Lair EP, how you're in the studio, you had a few days to do it, and you did it. With this album that you're working on, how are you guys approaching this, or did we get that far yet?
Well, we've been doing some demos. We got Alex Harris has got like a little home studio kind of set up. So we go in there and work on ideas in the rehearsal room, and then we'll go and put them down in his little studio, and we're just chipping away at it that way. I think we're probably about halfway through so far. So we'll spend a little bit more time over summer getting those songs down. And I think for us, the way that we operate, we're, do it kind of old school. We like to be in the room together when we're writing and jamming. We're not one of those sort of computer bands where, do it all on a click and do it that way. We really like to feel it out organically in the studio and jam the songs and get to know them and feel that comfortability and that cohesion in building the songs together. And I think one of the important things with new music too is that you've got to really know the songs. And I heard a term from a guy that I look up to a lot. His name's Peter Black, plays in an Australian punk band called the Hard On, and he said, you've got to understand the spirit of the song. And I really liked that term when trying to play new music and understand new music and feel that new music. And that's sort of something that we're bringing to this new record, is that we want to write these songs. We want them to be as best as we possibly can, but we want to jam them enough so that we do understand the spirit of it and the way that it's going to be delivered on tape, So that's something that we're really sort of conscious of on this time around.
Amazing answer. I love talking to bands and getting to know them. I do want to go back a little bit. What differences have you seen between playing in Australia compared to the United States, whether it be small, big, any differences that you care to share?
Well, I guess just for a band like us, we have a lot of audience participation, interaction in between the songs and stuff like that. So we do we'll smash out 4 or 5 songs and then a bit of banter in between. And I guess probably the thing with us is that being Australian, our Australian audience is a little bit more prone to heckling and all of that sort of stuff, which we really feed off. So we have a little bit more of that sort of thing going on in Australia with the audience, whereas in America, everyone seems to be a little bit more polite. So
depends on where you go, honestly.
Well, that's true as well, and I think we're hitting Texas at the end of the tour, so I'll probably be expecting a little bit more down there, but so far everyone's been pretty polite, and we kind of, it's just something that happens in Australia because we play there probably a little more than we have over here. So that would be the main difference, is that everyone's a little bit more polite. But you know what I've noticed definitely on this tour is that the enthusiasm and the anticipation for the shows is really high, and it's been great for us to just get back and play these shows with, we've done a few with We Need It Now, and even the headlining ones that we did on our own, the attendance exceeded our expectations. So it's been great.
I love hearing stuff like that, man. And I've never heard someone say, "Yeah, Americans are just so polite."
Compared to the people that come to our shows in Australia, bro, it's like,
oh yeah, I could only imagine. I do like asking bands. I like asking bands. You guys have been around a while. What advice would you give to bands that might be starting out or that are trying to break through that glass barrier? Anything you guys have been through? Anything you personally think off the top of your head? Anything you care to share?
I would say mostly the main thing would just to be everyone loves the music part of it, right? Everyone loves jamming and making music, creating music. I would say enjoy playing live, get out and play as many places as you possibly can, and tour and network, make friends with other bands that are doing the same sort of stuff or have the same sort of aspirations as you. And then the other part of it, probably people don't want to hear, is that you kind of got to embrace the business side of it a bit as well. You got to take on the business side of it. You got to be prepared to take risks, and almost like a bit of a gamble at times. But you just make it calculated, and you do your homework, and you got the right people with you, and you grow it the way that you should, organically, and all of that sort of stuff. And those risks that you take can be, quite calculated, and things tend to work out. So yeah, that would be my thing, is that, you got to embrace that business side of the band too a little bit, and make sure that and keep everyone happy, and keep all the people in the band happy, and all of that sort of stuff. And that can be a bit of a juggling act, but I guess for creative types, for people in the music industry, it can be really a bit of a chore to embrace things like spreadsheets and accounting and all of that sort of stuff. So it can be quite challenging for creative types to do that, but I think it's definitely something that you have to do.
Great advice for sure. Not a lot of people just starting out. I mean, other people know this, but you do have to embrace the business side. Do you think you woke up last night and said, "Yeah, let's do this tour right now. Let's go"? No, there's a lot of planning involved. And when you're there, there's a lot of stuff you have to plan for to happen that you weren't prepared for. You never know what could happen when you're on the road. And there's a lot of stuff that could go down the pipeline. And it's not just about the touring. It's about the writing music. And there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of moving gears that go behind these things. But that's also why I was able to talk to you today. So I'm very thankful for that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Any final words you want to say to fans as we wrap things up?
Oh, well, just, you can check us out on the social media at King Parrot Band on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. It's King Parrot Band. And our website's kingparrot.net, where you can get all the tour dates for the North American tour, and all the ticket links and all that stuff for all the shows that we're playing over here. I think tonight will be the 6th show, maybe. Yeah, I think it's like the 6th show tonight, and we got another 27, 28 to go. So, come out and see us, and we'll be going bananas as we always do. And it's exciting, man. It's so great to be back here, and thank you for your support. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Youngy, I'm going to talk to you here in a second off air, so don't hang up, okay?
All right, brother. Thanks so much.
No problem. That's Youngy. He's in the band King Parrot. These guys rule. They are fast. They are grindcore. They're heavy. They're on Housecore Records. I hope they play my favorite song, Bite Your Head Off, because it is a killer song, and it's a killer album as well. Make sure you check out King Parrot. Make sure if you're around any of these tour dates to check them out on tour. Thanks for checking out this episode of the Kevin Powell Podcast. I will see you guys next time.